Hey guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another project pan update. Today I'm going to be updating my 2023 Pan That Palette series. So in this series I am panning two palettes. I have been working on the Beauty Bay Golden Age palette since the start of the year. This is definitely the focus palette, the one with the most progress. And then secondly I have the Lime Crime Prelude palette, which because this is only 9 pans I did include this as well to kind of make things a little bit more fun. And I do have some progress on this one. This is definitely a lot slower progress, but today we do have a new pan, which is super exciting. I think it's been a good couple of updates since we had a new pan, which is super duper exciting, and I cannot wait to show you that to you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. I don't want to apologize, this video is coming about a week late or so, no, half a week late, just because I got so busy last week I didn't have time to film it, unfortunately. But we are back and now going to be harsh, strict on the two at least uploads a week. So I'm going to start off with my Lime Crime palette because this one does have the least amount of progress. I really am not even sure if we're going to get pan this year because like I have used some shades a lot for what I feel, and I just feel like there's not tons of progress. But I mean, like, have I used them a lot? Not really. So I will put in the progress pictures here anyway. So we have actually only used 5 of these shades this month, unfortunately. So firstly, the shades Aphrodisia and Virgin we have not used at all. I have used the shade Flesh 4 times this month. This is a really nice kind of like final blending out shade, just as a really light one. It's really nice to use. The shade Storm still haven't used it at all in the project. I just really can't find a way to work in this kind of like grey satiny shimmery shade. It's not like super reflective. I'm not too sure how to work it into a look because it doesn't really work with the rest of the palette. I mean, I guess I could kind of use it with these ones, but I feel like that's way too grungy for my type of look. This is my kind of like generic eye look, just a very, very simple gold on the lid with brown in the crease. And this one is using 1484 and then the mattes of this palette along with this one here. So that's kind of my go-to look, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm not too sure how we're going to use Storm too much, but Nude is definitely my most used in this palette. I've used this one 14 times this month. Pretty much every time I've done my makeup I've used this one. I just feel like I haven't really been doing my makeup quite as much this month. I feel like I've just been all over the place, to be honest. And then we have the shade 1484, which I've used 6 times this month. That's significantly more than the rest of the project, which I'm really, really happy about. Then the shade Abyss we've used once, and the shade Immortal we've used twice, which has doubled its usage in the project. This is the 3rd month I've been working on this palette, by the way. So you can see the progress here. I'll talk about total usage in the project. So Aphrodisia has 4 uses and Virgin has 7 uses, none of which has come from this month. The shade Flesh has 12 uses. Storm, again, nothing. The shade Nude is definitely our most used. It's got 34 uses, and we've definitely got a dip going in there now. I don't know how I can see. There's a little bit of like shimmer in there that makes it look like a pan, but it does have a reasonably significant dip, I think. So I'm pretty happy with that, but I have no idea how deep the pans are, so I have no idea if that's good or not. Then we have the shade 1484. Like I mentioned, we've used this one 8 times, so definitely the bulk of the usage came from this month, which I'm super happy about. You will see after seeing some of the progress in here why we've kind of moved on to this shade. Then we have the shade Abyss, which we've used once. This is good kind of in the outer corner for pinky looks, but again, I'm kind of doing brown looks, so not using it too much. And then the shade Immortal I've used twice. You can definitely see some disturbance in there now. I've been trying to remember to do this as just like a tight liner, like in my waterline, because I do like the way my makeup looks when I do that, but I forget. And then if I put the shimmer on, I don't want to have to like lift up my lid and stuff because I feel like it like disrupts the shimmer and stuff. So I have to try and remember to do it before I do the rest of my eye makeup, and so that's the issue with that one there. So yeah, overall not too bad. I'll talk about goals at the end for both palettes, but now we're going to move on to one with a lot more progress. So this is my Beauty Bay Golden Age palette. We've been working on this all year, so I'll put in the progress pictures now. So as you can see, probably the most noticeable, we do have a new pan in the shade Millionaire down here. I don't know how we can see because obviously it's quite a reflective shade, but that little silver speck in the middle is actually pan. So yay, very exciting. Also big progress on Precious, which I'm super pleased about. And I mean, I just think there's really good progress in this palette overall, to be honest. This is starting to look extremely loved. We're starting to see a lot more of the visual progress, I think, which I'm really enjoying. So for usage this month, I have not used Gleam. It's already got pan, so it kind of fell out of my priority list. I've used the shade Precious 17 times, not used Gilded. I used the shade Rush 19 times, used the shade Bijou 4 times. I've used the shade Roaring 19 times, the shade Millionaire 6 times, and I used it, kind of just tapped it over the look today to kind of expand the pan a bit. It only took about 5 uses last month to hit the pan. I've used the shade Glamour 13 times and haven't used the shade Glitz. So total usages in the project, Gleam has only 4 uses because we hit pan. I don't know if it already had pan or we hit pan very quickly. Precious has 73 uses, Gilded has 4, Rush has 68, Bijou has 8, Roaring has 74, Millionaire has 13, Glamour has 63, and Glitz has 5. So obviously, as the progress has been showing and the last updates were the same, we are using the mattes mainly. But I think this palette looks so well loved now. You can definitely see Precious. We did clear out that bottom corner like I was trying to do. So now I've literally only got less than half the shade left, which is super duper exciting. You can definitely see as well that second dip in Rush that I mentioned last month, because I used this in my brows and as my lower lash line. So I've been dipping the brush in on that left hand side there. And I don't know how you can see. I mean, I think you can see quite clearly there is a big dip going on in there. So I definitely think next month we will have a second pan, which is exciting. There's also a bigger dip in Bijou now. That's probably going to be our next shade to hit pan in. But it's a little bit of a weirder form. It's a little bit tougher, a little bit less shimmery, more just like reflective, less like sparkly, but I will still definitely get some good use out of that. The shade Roaring, the pan's expanded, not tons, but a little bit. Obviously Millionaire now has a pan, very exciting, but this is a really nice pretty shade, really light sparkly. I really like to kind of work it in as a topper shade. I think it looks really pretty. And then finally Glamour, because we haven't really used Glitz at all, also has a big expansion in the pan. So very pleased with the progress on this palette. I think now we can definitely finish Precious by the end of the year and have some really good progress on the rest of the shades, which is fabulous. So I'm going to talk about goals for next month. For the Lime Crime Prelude palette, I think I want to try and use all the shades once. I want to try and use Storm. I really want to try and use it, see what we can do. Get some good dip on Nude and hopefully hit a pan, maybe. I'm not too sure how well that's going to go. I don't think I'm going to be using Aphrodisia because I have an inner corner shimmer in a different project at the moment. In my pan there's eyeshadow, so I'm going to be focusing in on that. Virgin also doesn't get too much use because I use it the same way I use Precious in this palette to set my lid, unfortunately. But the rest of this palette I really do want to try and use. I think 1484 might be my kind of go-to shimmer at the moment, even though I do want to hit pan and Bijou. I'm going to try and split the usage reasonably evenly between the two of those. So yeah, I want to, oh, I've just dug my nail in it, lovely. I want to use Immortal, I'd say 10 times. I want to use Nude at least 10 times, and this one 10 times too. Hopefully I can do that all together really, and then use the other shades at least one. And then for the Golden Age palette, I'm kind of hoping for more progress. I think I really want to kind of whittle down this side in Precious. I definitely think that is something we can do. I'm not going to work in the corners. I think I'm just going to work like kind of as the whole pan, if that makes sense. So I think we're just going to shrink it. I think I want to try and get, you see there's like a cross hatch in the pan. I think I want to get like behind that line on this side, if that makes sense. Expanding both pans, I'd like to hit the second pan in here and then just expand these two, and then I think I'll try and hit pan and Bijou. I'm not sure how well it's going to go, but I think that will be our next goal. So yeah, that is my Pan That palette update for this month. This one has some really good progress, so I'm very pleased. We won't talk about the Prelude one, but that's just kind of like a bonus to me, to be honest. So yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you are enjoying this series and want to see more Project Pans and stuff, do subscribe because I post loads on my channel. It's basically the whole premise of this channel. But yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on the bell to join a little club, and make sure you turn on all notifications, then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. If you want to watch my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a low linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!